Live on WFLA Now. This is Run for Fun with running enthusiast Leigh Spann.
All right, let's go. Welcome back to the Stream Center here at WFLA Now for this week's episode of Run for Fun with Leigh Spann. Now, this show is designed to give you the tools and the knowledge to stay healthy and active by basically showing you how it can all be fun. Because when it's fun, you keep doing it. If it's not something that you have to do or something that you dread to do or like some people refuse to do. So we're going to give you all those tips and tricks, and especially as we head into the summer months, it gets a little harder. So you need even more tricks in your toolbox or tools in your toolbox. Tricks in your hat. So I'm meteorologist Leigh Spann here at WFLA, but I'm also a pretty avid runner. I've been running consistently for about 13 years now. And, you know, as the 13 years has gone on, I've come to love running even more because I've learned how to do it correctly. And of course, all that thanks goes to my coach, Coach Maria, who brings this knowledge to people. And that's, you know, something that you're very passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, I just spent a weekend with my high school girlfriends, all amazing women. We had such a really great time. All very successful women, all have kids. And I'm so passionate about it. Like, I just talked about it all weekend about how important this kind of lifestyle is. And they're all missing that one part to their life, the joy of running. They all have these images that running is terrible and awful and what we did in high school to stay in shape. And I'm going to help try and teach them how to do it so it's fun.
Are they going to listen to our show? You should tell them.
I did tell them about the podcast, and I'm sure they will listen. But I'm going to put them on a group social media platform, and we're going to really work on trying to get them ready for a 5K in the fall and try to teach them how to do it the correct way so they can have fun doing it.
Yes, and that is, that's your job, but it's also your passion, and it's something that you spread to the rest of us. And now when I talk to people, the first thing they want to tell me is, how fast they ran, or I'm just glad you're out there. I'm glad you're out there doing it, and if you
100%.
like it, then you'll keep doing it. And so you mentioned the social media, that's going to the text between your girlfriends, and that's one of the things that makes, I think, the running, an aspect of running so great is the social aspect of it, the community. And y'all, our Strava run group has now reached 106 runners. So if this is the first time you're hearing about it, Strava is a free app that you can download on your phone, carry them up. Everybody carries their phone with them when they run, of course, or walk, or take a nice long walk. And this allows you, it tracks you, it tells you how far you went and things like that. And then if you join the WFLA Run for Fun group, you got to go to the clubs and you got to go to the groups. Then you can talk to other people and ask questions. And I've been very excited to see how the Strava group has really helped people. People ask the questions, and not only we answer, but any of the 106 other people can answer.
And we get show ideas from it and all that stuff. It's great to see what people are doing. We got to keep them going through the summer, Leigh.
Well, I know. So there will be, if you're one of our Strava run group, part of it, we are going to do something special. I said when we hit 100, we would do something special. The planning is in place. So stay tuned. Of course, we'll be posting on the Strava app and then talking about it in later shows. But if you're not there and you want to be part of the special thing, then you go ahead and download the app. And
everybody wants to be part of a special thing.
Everybody wants to be part of a special thing. Exactly right. So, in the summer, it gets even harder to be part of this special thing, right?
It is. It's harder.
And so today, which by the way, if you didn't watch or listen to last week's episode about dew point, you have to do that after you watch this one, if this is one that you're the first one that you're watching.
I mean, the feedback we got about last week was incredible. Everybody was really happy to understand why dew point is important, because people just don't know. And so as a meteorologist, dew point has always meant a lot to me. And then it wasn't until I met Maria that I realized there was this whole other group of people, runners, who cared about the dew point and should care about the dew point. And so it's the reason why a lot of the times you think, I'm in the summer, I can't do this. This is hard again. It's not fun anymore. And so we have ways that kind of work around that. And one of those is to be adequately hydrated. Yeah. And actually Saturday, I can tell what the dew point is
by the comments I get from my clients before anything. Like Saturday was a very, very high dew point. Like people were not finishing their runs. People were sending me messages. It's terrible out here, mostly because they hadn't adjusted yet.
Right.
So they were really struggling on Saturday.
Well, I'm keeping an eye on our face because this is live on Facebook as well. And Ken Tennis just says, I have never seen a smiling, laughing, happy runner, and that's all I need to know. He has never watched us.
Yeah,
go.
no, he has never watched.
If you
never
ever
watched
see
me run.
A bunch of permagrind runners on around Tampa Bay, that's my running group, because we all have found how to love it and have fun. You know, even doing the hard thing is still fun. So you will see. You pay attention, Ken.
It takes effort.
Yeah.
Like it's like anything we do in our life.
Yes.
It takes effort. You got to put effort in it in order to make it fun.
Yes. And so today we're sort of building off of last week's dew point, where we know it's going to be harder. We know you're going to sweat a lot more. So therefore you have to be even nicer to your body by being very aware of dehydration symptoms and concerns. And then knowing that your sweat composition, it's not just water that you're sweating out. I mean, there's so much stuff that if you're not efficiently replenishing all of those things, you are going to go into that. It's not fun anymore. And we're going to teach you how not to do that.
And you're also going to go into a hole.
Yes.
And you're not going to be able to climb back out. It's very hard to climb out of the dehydration hole. So we don't want to go there. It's hard for your body to recover if we don't do that. So we're going to teach you how to do it today so we can get it right.
And I just remember, before I really knew Maria or really knew any other runners, I was just out there running. And, I would drink water when I came home. Probably not nearly enough, but I would at least drink water. And then I just thought that's just how running felt. That after the rest of the day, you were just worn down. And that was basically the only thing you could do that day was to exercise. And it's just not true. I mean, it can. I didn't think that it was bad. I just thought that's how you felt. You felt a little lightheaded a lot. And I'm like,
you want to take a nap.
You want to take a nap. Yeah. None of that is how it should feel. But the dehydration, you can notice it when you are running if you're paying attention and knowing your body.
I mean, to be fair, you can even notice it if you're not running. Like if you're a non-runner, and you're tired all the time, up your water intake. You'd be surprised at how much fatigue comes from just your baseline hydration not being right.
Baseline hydration.
Yeah.
And so, especially here in Florida, it's extra hot, it's extra humid. And even if you're doing anything, yard work, washing the car, running errands, going to multiple different stores, I mean, that will quickly deplete your body. So this is just dehydration 101. If you feel thirsty, guess what? That's the first stage.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, I would even say if you're feeling thirsty, it's a little bit too late. Like you want to start drinking before you feel thirsty. Yeah. Unless you're not running at all, then whatever. But you really need to start drinking early and often.
And one of the sure signs, especially as we transition and we're sort of adjusting our bodies, I've noticed that my GI issues, like my stomach will be cramping more and more upset during this time when we're transitioning, where I haven't quite gotten used to how humid it is. And your body does adjust. It does now adjust. It's not there yet.
It adjusts a little bit.
Yeah.
It's never going to be like it is in the fall.
Right.
But it does adjust. It can adapt. You build more blood plasma and you are able to handle it better. But you still have to hydrate in order to get those benefits. So
headache, that's one that happens no matter if you're, like I said, if you're just washing the car or running errands, like you start to notice, like, why is this terrible
And a lot
headache?
of times, like this time of year when it's changing dew point up and down, that's when the headaches can come, the migraines can come. You can also get headaches from like pushing yourself too hard in the heat too soon. They call them exertion headaches. That's typically from dehydration or cortisol level being too high. That can cause headaches too.
And then, this was the one that sort of triggers me is the run seems harder. And obviously that's going to be, the heat is going to make it feel that way. But if like, even in the same amount of heat, if all of a sudden you're just like, I can't go on anymore, it's probably because you've depleted your body doing all of this sweat of all of the wonderful things that it needs. And it's just not there anymore.
Yeah. And in this culture right now, when we're talking about, like, a lot of people are on keto diets and they're on low carb diets, and that makes you more dehydrated. So when you're dehydrated going into a run, that can make your body feel awful. You're going to have to slow down even more. Your muscles they don't have any water in them because carbohydrates hold water in your muscles. So if you don't have carbohydrates, you're already starting off your run really dehydrated.
Yeah.
It can be very dangerous, actually.
And so if that's something, if you're a recreational runner and you are running on low carbs, literally running on low carbs,
short and sweet.
Yeah. And adequately hydrating afterwards and enduring if you need to. And I was just bragging on myself because I've never carried water before on a run. And I just bought this. Look how neat it is because, I'm not even holding it. It has a little place for my thumb.
I want to see how that goes when you hold it because
it's new. It's brand new. I'm very proud of myself.
That's good. You should be proud of yourself, but I really want to see you running it before you're proud of yourself.
Okay.
Because what happens when I carry something, I throw a temper tantrum.
Okay.
I hate carrying things in my hands. So I have a water bottle that goes in my back bra. Even that drives me nuts. I don't like the sloshing. I put out water like in advance.
Yeah.
Get Scratch. I use Scratch. So I put Scratch in places. In fact, my husband used to do it for me when I would do long runs. He'd go put them in snowbanks because I needed to stay hydrated, but I didn't want to carry anything. I hate
snowbanks. She didn't grow up in Florida.
Yeah, no. But I hate carrying things.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know why. I think it throws me off balance. It just feels like,
well,
I don't know. But
I'm going to try. So I bought this.
Yeah,
we'll see.
A lot of people run with them.
Yep,
it's my just weird pet peeve, I think.
So
maybe that should be a coach's drill.
Yeah, just kidding. So let's talk a little bit about what's in the sweat, because I think that's something that I know, again, even as I was building up my running career, I just thought water. And that actually can be a little almost, if you do it too much, not beneficial, is actually bad for you.
Yeah. And actually a lot of people, again, because we have a diet culture in this country that I myself am trying to change. I hate that. But the diet culture says, sugar and, sports drinks are bad. We really need them. We can't have just diluted water. In fact, I have one runner that refuses. She will not take electrolytes in because she thinks sugar is bad for her. And actually, Dr. Heim, who was here a couple weeks ago, and they've done tons of studies on this, that when you have sugar when you're running, your insulin doesn't spike.
Because you're using it
Yeah,
immediately.
you're using it and your body is being active. So you don't have to worry about insulin spikes as much when you're active and running during your run.
Someone did write that on one of the comments a couple of weeks, maybe even it was on the Dew Point one last week on Facebook, and said, well, I have diabetes, and I just said, well, just why don't you check with your doctor first?
Yeah, diabetes is different. That's different.
So just some of these things we talk about is generalized. Know if you have something
definitely diabetes,
issues.
You have to talk to a doctor about what you can and can't do, and whether you have a pump and all that stuff. That's completely different. Yeah. But for a normal, healthy person, sugar when you're running is not bad.
That's good to know, because you're trying to replace all of this. I mean, yes, it's water, but sodium specifically, chloride, potassium, calcium, all of that just leaves out of your body, and your body needs all of those things. So you can't just put back in water, because then those beautiful things, all those electrolytes, get diluted even more.
Yeah. And these products that are designed for this are designed by scientists that really understand the human body and what we need and what we're losing. The challenge can be how much you're losing. Like my running partner, Beth, she rarely sweats. Like, it's amazing. Even in the summer, she just doesn't sweat. Meanwhile, her sister and I are like flinging sweat off our hands while we're running. And she gets so grossed out. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys are so gross. I'm like, this is genetically like just how I am. Like, I can wring it out of my shirt, genetically. So my needs are much higher than her needs are. And exactly how do we figure that out?
Okay. So we have a way to find your sweat rate. And I was laughing just in my head while you were talking about that, because I have two male friend runners that in the summer, they leave footprints
Oh, yeah. I've changed my shoes in the middle of runs.
That blew me away. I mean, I know that we sweat a lot, but for it to sweat through your shoe, like through your shoe and leave footprints, I was blown away. And I'm like, now I know two people who sweat and leave footprints. But anyway, so what they mean,
it happens.
They have a high sweat rate. And so there's a way, I'm going to let Maria kind of go through this because she's actually the one that understands that a little bit more. So, but it's important to know how much how much liquid is leaving your body.
Yeah. And you have to, I usually give my runners an hour. I say, take your body weight at the beginning of your run. Don't eat anything. Don't drink anything on your run. And then at the end of your run, however much weight you've lost, that's how much we need to replace. So,
but you don't want to wear clothes because your clothes are going to hold that sweat.
Yeah.
So
the
unfortunately,
least amount of clothes. I mean, you can't be naked, but you want to wear the least amount of clothes and record that. And there's a formula.
Yeah. So, and also, we wrote at the top there, record the temperature and the dew point because you want to do this really throughout the year because what you're sweating in July is going to be vastly different than what you're sweating in
and your hydration needs are different.
Yeah. So you take that pre-workout weight and your post-workout, right? And you subtract them so you find the difference between them. And then that's how many pounds basically of liquid you lost, which could be anywhere from 1 to 6, I mean, depending on what you're doing. So let's just say 3 pounds. Let's say it was a 3 pound difference. So you were 180 pounds before your workout. You're 177 pounds after. It's a 3 pound difference. You want to multiply, and that's fine if you want to try to drink 3 pounds of liquid, but that's really hard to understand. So if you multiply it by 15.3, and again, these are all just sort of estimates. It's a fluid ounce weighs about a pound. So you want to multiply that by 15.3 fluid ounces, then that's how much liquid you lost, which could be as much as like 45 ounces of liquid.
So, and that's on top of your normal,
right?
What you need normally. So, and that's a very low amount. 3 pounds, like I usually lose in an hour 6 pounds in the summer, 6 pounds on my run. So I need to have, and this is not just replacing it afterwards. This is replacing it during. So I would say if you're a heavy sweater, you need to start drinking early and drink every 15 minutes and get in the habit of drinking every 15 minutes. Because again, remember we talked about gels and training your body. You have to train your body to take in this amount of fluid. Your body just can't just process it right away. It has to learn how to do it. So start sipping early and often, and then work up to the amount that you need to replace.
And even when we're on the run or on the walk or running errands or whatever it is that you're doing, it should be the electrolyte drinks.
Yes.
I mean, water is okay, but it would be better if you were also putting in
especially
the
in the summer.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about water as much in the summer. Like, just take an electrolyte drinks. Like the ones that don't have calories are great for after you're running. During your run, you want them with calories. Now, that's if you are training hard.
Right.
Like if you're a recreational runner, you don't have to worry about that as much. But if you're training like more than 30 minutes a day and you're doing it every day or 4 to 5 times a week, you need to replace those electrolytes significantly.
And what are some of the sort of long term, if you don't, like if you go into that hole of dehydration, what can happen to your body?
Well, I mean, your body can shut down. You can get to the point where, luckily, our bodies are very good at telling us. And if you're good at listening, there are some signs that will show up when you know you're in trouble. And if these signs show up, I would say, please stop running. Like if you start to feel cold to the touch, you start to get goosebumps, that means you're significantly dehydrated, especially in the summer because it's warm. You should not have goosebumps or the hair up on your arms or any of that stuff. But that does happen when your body's struggling and needs hydration.
And you might be thinking, oh, there must be a breeze. All of a sudden I'm cool, because there are certainly stages that go from dehydration to heat exhaustion to heat stroke, and a heat stroke can be deadly. So we want to stop you, even before heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion starts to be the, lightheadedness that people just sometimes just assume, like I did, that that's just part of exercising in the heat. It's not. You either need to like slow it down, stay in the shade, go in at a cooler time of the day, and stay hydrated.
You can put ice in your sports bra, or you can put ice in your pants. Like whatever you got to do to keep your body temperature cool at that point, you got to do. If you start to get disoriented, that's danger zone. Like you can start weaving back and forth. That's happened in a lot of marathons and a lot of hot marathons that happens. But if your body temperature gets too high, it's very, very dangerous. So you want to avoid that at all costs. Women that are menstruating, like the week before, your body temperature is higher. So you require more carbohydrates and more fluid the week before menstruation. So that's also important.
Silly bodies.
I know. Silly bodies.
Silly bodies.
Yeah.
And, and this is, we're talking about people who are doing, longer distances, that kind of thing. But even if you're doing short distances, should they still be drinking water or electrolytes during the run? If it's 3 miles,
if you live in Florida, yes. If you live in the Northeast where it's not as hot, or you live, in the Midwest and it's not as hot, you can get away with a significant more amount of water than electrolytes. But still, you got to find that balance that works for you. You have to have, you can't just drink, like a lot of people I see carrying around a gallon of water. I'm like, that's just dehydrating you, honestly, because you're just flushing out your system of all your electrolytes, and that's not healthy either. So you got to find what balance works for you, and it is different for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, because we just talked about the sweat rate, but there's also things you can actually buy to find out what your sweat is composed of, like how much sodium is in your sweat, how much calcium is in your sweat, because even that is different. And you can, if that's something that interests you.
Some people are really salty sweaters, and you'll see that on your face. Like you can see white marks on your pants afterwards. People, that means you're a super salty sweater. And actually, Gatorade has a patch now that you can put on your arm and go around, and it'll give you the breakdown.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know how super accurate it is. I think Featherstone did I have to look into that. I think she did a research study on that. But yeah, you can wear a patch. It'll tell you if you're a heavy, medium, light sweater, and it'll tell you the breakdown of your sweat and everything. So you can be a little bit more aware of that.
And there, and then you are, when you go into a sports store, with hydration, you can go to the grocery store and get your Gatorade, but there's all kinds of, like with, I don't know, there's just little, what am I trying to say? Just like little packets of things that you can find the one that works best for you, because like these are just literal salt tablets that you can chew while you're eating or while you're running. And then there's, other than just the Gatorade that you go and buy, which is perfectly fine. But once you know exactly what your sweat is composed of, you can make it even more individualized.
Yeah. I mean, there are a million products out there. So you just got to try the ones that, try a bunch of different ones and find which one you like.
Yeah. And because my cabinet is full of different kinds of mixes, like all these little electrolyte things, because some, I don't like the taste of. I'll buy them. I'm like, well, I don't like that.
Some of them have fake sweeteners in them, and which is not awful, but
I just don't like the taste.
And some people don't like the taste. Some people that bothers their stomach. So you just have to look at them. I really like Scratch. I use Scratch for pretty much everything. I just love it.
Is it a powder?
Yeah, it's a powder. Okay. And sometimes I mix the flavors. I also use liquid
mixologist.
I know. I do like liquid IV too.
Yeah,
liquid IV is very, very good.
That's the one that I have found because it doesn't have that sugary taste or whatever.
Yeah, and you can get it from Costco.
Yeah,
and buy a big, huge thing of it. So, yeah.
And that I was saying to Maria that even while the sports drinks are fine, they take up a lot of room in like your cabinets and things, and so sometimes the powder is easier because you just mix it with a cup of water. But it's but again, these are all things that you learn that you can't just be putting in water.
Yeah.
And
a lot of them have calories in them,
which is okay.
That's good. Yeah. And I would say in the summertime, you want to get a lot of your calories from your drink, because it's tough to take in gels and take in electrolytes and not have your stomach be like, hey, what's happening? So try to, put your calories right in your water. That's great. It's a great way to do it.
And what I was reading where it was saying, someone was asking if working out or running in the heat burns more calories. And the answer was yes, but it's not burning more fat.
Yeah, no, because your heart rate is higher.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're burning all these calories, and that's what you want to try to replace because you haven't really burned any fat yet.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like burning fat versus burning calories, it's like if you're trying to lose weight, calories in, calories out, right? So even if you're going slower and you're burning a higher percentage of fat, you're burning less calories. So just try not to overthink it. Really, just try to do. We try to overthink everything, and the same thing with electrolytes. Like, don't overthink it. Try it, some different things. Don't try to like become a data expert and try to calculate every last thing. And just common sense.
Well, Maria always goes, everything should really be based on feel. How slow you go, how fast you go should all be based on feel. And same thing should go, I believe, with how much you put back in your body. When you feel good again, it probably means that you've replenished correctly.
And it's great to have all this information, but really we want to simplify. Yeah. Like the best way to have fun is to simplify and not overthink things. So just simplify, try some electrolyte drinks. Do the sweat test maybe once, twice a year. I usually do it. I don't need to do it anymore really because, I used to do it back in the day. But you should, if you do it once or twice, you should know pretty much what your sweat rate is and then just replace.
Yeah. And I think that's, when you say, don't overthink it, I think that so many people, especially, again, and I'm only going by my personal experience, I was underthinking it. Just going to drink some water and never thought about why I felt lightheaded. Felt lightheaded. So we want to think about it some,
but not a lot.
But once you know that you need electrolytes, that's basically as long as you feel good, your body is telling you you're okay. I mean, you got to listen to your body.
Yeah, and if you ever get, if you overdo it, take a break for a couple days. You got to let your body rest. You got to, your body needs time to heal if you push it too hard. So don't just like think you're weak and be like, oh, I got to finish this run, or don't be stubborn. Take a couple days off, replenish your electrolytes, replenish your water, let your body heal, and then get back to it.
So we talked about before, get your ego out of the way, because your ego says, I can do anything no matter what the weather is or however I feel. And it's like, well, no, your body, your body is begging you, please take a break, give me what I need, and then I'll get back out there for you. So that's
and again, remember we talked about like even your body, if you listen to your body well enough, if you're undercarbed, you will crave sweets. If you're under electrolytes, then you will crave salty things. Yeah. So even your body, like if you just listen to your body, it'll tell you what it needs.
Yeah, because we talked about that is what runners love at the end of a long run is to go and eat breakfast or eat a big meal. And it's interesting to watch what people order, because if someone orders the bacon and eggs, they're usually they need salt, and the person that orders the pancakes really needed carbohydrates, and you don't even know that's why you did it. You're like, what tastes good to me today is these French fries.
Yeah, and if you are doing a longer run, over an hour in the summertime, and you have to take a nap for an hour, 2 hours in the afternoon, you have to, like, you just feel like you can't make it through your day, you didn't do it right. Okay. It's okay to want to take a nap and say, hey, I want to take a nap. I'd like to take a nap. But if you get that exhaustion where you really feel like I am tired, I need to sleep for, deep sleep, that means you pushed yourself too hard and you didn't replace your electrolytes and your fuel correctly. So pay attention to that sort of thing. You're not recovering well enough.
Right. And I think that, again, some people, at least I did, just felt like that was what it was supposed to feel like. But now I know differently. And someone actually, on one of my earlier posts about the hydration said, I hear that milk is better than water. And for and that thing they were just asking. And I was going to reply and say, it's good for chocolate milk is good for your muscles.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, it's for that has a lot of protein and can help rebuild your muscles, which also needs to happen as well. Yeah. So your steps are do the run, do the electrolytes, and then help your muscles. I would
replace, like, chocolate milk is a good replacement. If you're running with chocolate milk, that can be hard. Well, that's bad on the stomach.
Milk was a bad choice.
V8 juice is actually really good after a run, not during a run. I've had a couple of runners take V8 before to hydrate.
So what would be the reason that for tomato juice? I mean, I know it's
Well, it just
things.
has a ton of salt in it.
Oh, okay.
The vegetable juice has a ton of salt in it.
Got it.
It's processed, so it's got a lot of salt in it. So, and then the other thing you can do is you can sodium load the day before, so you can eat more salty foods, take in more salty drinks the night before your long run, and that can kind of curb that need for it during your run if you can't take it in as much because of your stomach.
Right.
But V8 juice is for after.
Good. I don't like V8 juice, so if
I'm
you
speaking
like
from
it,
experience with my clients. Afterward, not during or before.
Yeah, because tomato juice also, well, to me, it's too acidic.
And it has fiber in it. So
Well,
you're just going to and
stop
you're
at
just
the
giving
bathroom.
yourself, bathroom troubles both ways, really.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But-
so stick to it afterwards.
But yeah, so it was, yes, you need to replenish the electrolytes, but you also need to adequately fuel your body and replace for your muscles, and need to refuel the carbs and the protein. So it's not all one or the other. It's you got to do all three, but you need those electrolytes during and then immediately right after.
Yep.
Especially
And
in
you
the
know what?
summer.
Don't be afraid of the sugar. If you want a little bit of sugar, the best time to do it is right before you run. That'll help you stay hydrated, actually. The carbohydrates will help you stay hydrated.
And because you've even said that your body will run better and actually burn more calories if it has
100%.
some fuel in it. And
You
those
can run. You
fuels
can
are-
run faster.
Yeah.
You can, physically. So it's just you'll burn more calories.
Yes, you'll run faster because you got a little bit of carbohydrates in there, the little energy fields. Okay, so I think we've gone over the importance of proper hydration. We don't want you to feel lightheaded. We don't want you to get to that point where you are disoriented and things like that, and getting into that hole where
You're digging yourself out. That happens a lot with runners, and not just hydration, with nutrition. Once you've dug yourself into this hole of not eating enough, it's hard to get out of. It's hard to get out of that hole. So try to stay on top of it, especially in the summer months. Pay attention to it, and you'll just have a better running life for the summer.
And you will be. I think that everybody who does the sweat rate will be surprised at how much
absolutely.
liquid is coming out of your body.
Well, and I'm surprised at how many people brag about it. I'm like, I lost 6 pounds. I'm like, don't brag about that. Replenish it so you don't lose that. You're losing water from your body. You're not losing fat.
You're not.
That's not like I lost 6 pounds of fat. That's like I just abused my body.
Right. Yeah.
So let's try to be nicer to our body and replace what we're losing. If we want our body to perform for
want it
us,
to be fun, and not,
then we need to be nice to it.
nice to it. All right, so that is it for this week. Next week we have more things on heat, because that is what we are all talking about is how to transition into summer. And once you get into summer and you've transitioned it, then that's just how it is. But when you're coming out of a nice pleasant spring, this is the worst time.
brutal.
So we're going to talk about what to wear.
Yeah, and
next
how to
week.
avoid chafing, because that's the big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got to avoid chafing.
so much chafing in the summer. So, and then we have Coach's 3-minute drill coming our way. Just so you know, Coach, we thought that this drill was not hard enough. So coming in the weeks coming up, we're going to give you a speed drill.
I know. I know. It's tough for me already to try to do 3 minutes, but
So this is when Coach gets to tell you what she thinks about anything she wants. And she only has 3 minutes to do it. So, and then later on we'll be making this drill even shorter. But today's drill, message to people who are afraid of sugar in their hydration. Let's go, Coach.
Here we go. Okay, this is a big topic because we have a lot of people that are recreationally running to lose weight, and that's fine. And we have a lot of people that are running for performance. And those are two different things. We talk about it often. But we have in our society, we have this thing that I call diet culture that just drives me insane as a runner, because people are afraid to take in sugar when they run. Never, ever, 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 ever should you be afraid to take in sugar when you're running. It is so good for your muscles. It's so good. It helps you stay hydrated. It keeps you running faster, longer, which is what we want. And we want to be happy. It keeps us happy. And with this diet culture and everything that's going on with the keto diet and low carb diets, we just are running around chronically dehydrated. And it's because we're afraid of sugar. So let's stop being afraid of sugar. It's not going to spike your insulin when you're running. It's actually going to keep you running well, and it's going to help your body recover, and you're going to burn more calories. So stop being afraid of sugar. Don't be afraid of sugar.
Don't be afraid. Sugar is your friend.
Don't be afraid.
I mean, everything in basic moderation. So you can't exclude something from your life and expect that your body to react well completely.
Yeah, and I'm not talking to the recreational runner. This is like, if you're trying to lose weight and you're using running as a way to lose weight, you don't have to take in a ton of sugar. Your everyday diet should have enough sugar in it that you should be able to run just fine. But if you are running and you want to get better at running and you want to be able to run longer and stronger, then you have got to take in food and sugar. You got to. And that can be, it doesn't have to be, sugar from Gatorade or Skittles. It doesn't have to be that. You can get sugar from dates and apples and stuff like that. It's just kind of hard to carry an apple when you're running around. Like these products are designed to be digested easily, so that because runners need something quick and easy, and an apple just isn't that easy, nor is a banana really, and it gets mushy if you put it in your sports bra. So just use the products that are designed for runners.
And don't listen to your body about being dehydrated. I mean, because that is, I mean, if you need a sports drink, even if you're trying to lose weight, you need it to function. Your body needs to function as well as lose weight. So
you always need electrolytes, regardless of what you're doing. You're always going to need electrolytes, but we also need sugar too. We do. That's why Gatorade has sugar in it.
Yes, it does. All right. And then, it's been scientifically proven to help your body.
And Gatorade has a Gatorade Zero now. And that makes me a little crazy, because it's kind of like an oxymoron to me. But it's not if you're drinking it outside of your workout.
Yeah.
Like, drink it outside your workout. That's great. If you don't want the extra calories because you're not exercising, but you do need the extra calories when you're exercising.
Right. And I mean, and for the people who are just, again, running errands in this heat in the summer in Florida, you need those electrolytes.
Gatorade Zero is great for you guys.
Perfect. So there's a time and place for everything.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week when we talk more about what to wear so that we're not chafing in this heat. And then also don't forget to join us on our Strava group, because we're going to be talking, we're going to be setting up a kind of a special thing going forward. So thank you guys so much. Thanks,
Bye.
Coach.